ada 2, 4, 6, 7 ya. Oke. Clara Amanda, Elizabeth, Friska, Andrian, Charlie, Daniel. Oke. Ya, Amanda bawa doa pembuka, silakan.
Yes, sir.
Ya.
Let's pray together. Lord Jesus, thank you for your blessings. So now we can join together in this class. We want to start this class. Please bless our lecturer who will teach us, and please bless each of us to be focused on prayer. In the name of Jesus, Amen.
Amen. Ya, thank you. Ya, straight to the point, langsung ya. Hari ini today I'm about to take your score, the first score for this subject. Ya, nama-nama yang saya panggil langsung dibuka kameranya, langsung dijawab ya. Okay, so here there are still 10 students, means that there are still 5 or 6 students to join. Okay, yeah, I want to ask first Charlie. Charlie sabar. When I'm calling your name, please open up the camera. Please be cooperative for today, ladies and gentlemen. Namanya ujian, kalau nggak tatap muka seperti ini nggak ujian namanya ya, kalau hanya suara. Kalau nggak buka kamera saya anggap nggak hadir. Alright. Charlie, so according to our subject, this is translation theory, and all the questions are about theories. Okay, as you can see, or you had heard the time that I told about one component or the same components occur in several surface lexical items. Yeah, one component, yeah, one meaning component has several lexical items. So what does it mean? Can you answer?
I'm sorry, sir. Can you repeat the question?
One meaning component, yeah, occur or has in several surface of lexical items. So what does it mean? Waktu itu kita mempelajari tentang meaning based translation. Do you still or you forget? Do you still remember my explanation?
One meaning.
One meaning component, yeah, occurs in several surface of lexical items. Okay, Charlie keep silent means that he doesn't know. Okay, I skip first, Charlie. Kalau ada kesempatan nanti saya tanya lagi. Thank you, Charlie. Now I go to Sheila. Sheila Dwi.
Yes.
Yeah, it is the same question to you. The same meaning component occurs in several surface of lexical items. So what does it mean?
The meaning of a lexical item?
No, the meaning of the whole sentence. Can you explain it? And make an example.
I don't really understand the question. I'm sorry.
Okay, there is a statement from the expert, yeah, of translation. Yes. In the translation field. One meaning component occurs in several surface of lexical items. Okay, let me give you a clue. At that time, I gave an example such as the word sheep can be can be uh, can be can be grouped into 3 words. At the time you heard about lamb, ram, and ewe. So that's the example of the statement. One meaning component has or occurs in several surface of lexical items. Can you explain what does it mean, the sentence? Apa sih maksud kalimat tersebut? What I need from you from this question is you paraphrase, you explain by your words. Jadi kata-kata yang statement yang tadi itu maksudnya apa sih menurut kamu? Pakai kata-kata sendiri saja untuk menjelaskannya. From the question, dari pertanyaan tadi itu, I just want to make sure that you've understood the theory. Ya, namanya juga teori. Jadi teori ini berhubungan dengan yang tadi. Ini berhubungan dengan pokoknya tadi dari contoh tadi sebenarnya kamu sudah bisa menjelaskan. Oke. Ini contoh penjelasannya, ya. So one meaning component means that a word can be separated into many specific words. For example, a superordinate word such as pisau can be separated into badik, can be translated into keris, can be translated into pisau tajam. So a word knife, ya, kata pisau itu bisa diterjemahkan ke beberapa kata yang maknanya sama gitu. So you can explain by paraphrasing. I mean, kalau kamu menjelaskan dengan kata-kata kamu, saya berpikir bahwasanya kamu sudah paham. Do you follow me, Sheila and Charlie? Ya, maksud saya berikan statement baru kamu menjelaskan apa yang kamu pahami mengenai statement tersebut. Okay, Sheila, one more question. So in translation process, there are 3 stages that a translator has to do. So what are they? Okay, I skip Sheila. Thank you. And I go to Andriani. Andriani, absent?
Yes, sir.
Okay, can you explain what is the difference between literal translation and dynamic translation or idiomatic translation?
Idiomatic.
And after you explain it, you give us examples. Okay, skip. Eire no pois. Eire. Sorry guys. I have okay. Eire, can you hear me? Can you open the camera for us, please? Clara, dengar suara saya? Oh iya.
Yeah.
Is there any problem with your connection, Aira? I can't hear you, Aira. Ladies and gentlemen, can you listen to Aira's voice?
No, sir.
Yeah.
No, sir.
Aira, can you fix it first? I'm counting into 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,
Hello, sir.
10. Where have you
Can you hear
been?
my voice, sir?
And I saw your face just now. Speak again.
Hello, sir.
Check sound. Yeah, okay, it works. Okay, okay, I almost forgot the question. So what do you understand about why do okay, in the translation field we have to learn about linguistics. Why do we have to learn linguistics in translation field?
Bisa dijelasin pakai bahasa sendiri aja, sir.
In English, paraphrase, of course, paraphrase. But in English, please. Using your own words to explain it. It's called paraphrase. Seperti kamu bilang pakai kata-kata sendiri means kamu paraphrase, but not in bahasa Indonesia.
Okay, sir. I'm gonna try to answer it. Maybe because when we learn about linguistic, it will, of course, it will make us easier to translate.
For example,
Right?
what is
For
the example? Okay, skip. Eri is thinking about the answer, but he can't. Yeah, he can't speak up. All right, thank you, Eri. You've tried. I do appreciate it. Tapi saya skip dulu ya. And I go to Elizabeth. Yeah, Elizabeth.
Yes, sir.
So, yeah, my question is, what is the difference between literal and idiomatic translation?
I think my opinion is that literal is more, how do I say it? Yeah. It's more to the primary meaning, yes, sir, I think. For literal,
Okay.
but for the idiomatic, there you can oh no. For I think for idiomatic is the primary. They have primary meanings in each word, but for literal you can have secondary and more meanings.
That's wrong. Sorry, I can't.
It's okay, sir.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Yang pertama tadi yang benar malah kamu ganti-ganti. All right, Daniel.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Can you open the camera? All right. Yeah, in translation project, there are many or several matters that we have to understand. What are they? So in translation project, there are many matters that we have to understand all the matters. I mean, to know about the field of the work. So to become a translator one day, so you will you will meet the matters. So what are they? Hal-hal yang berhubungan dengan penerjemahan, dunia penerjemahan, pekerjaan penerjemahan. Apa yang akan kamu temukan dalam proyek tersebut?
In translation, like in one word, it can means it can means a lot of things. So that we have to know, like in one word, we have to know the sentence first, and then we have to figure out what the word means.
Oh, so that is the text. Okay, that's a matter, only a matter. Itu satu hal penting. Hal lainnya itu proses penerjemahan. Dan memang di dalam project juga, di dalam pekerjaan penerjemahan, ya memang that's the most important thing, the text. And then what else? Okay, let me tell you the clue. So what tools do you use for the translation work? Oke, lupa ya. Kalau di dalam dunia terjemahan, kalau hanya teks yang kamu pergunakan, berarti terjemahannya nggak jalan nanti projectnya. You cannot stand alone in this world, ya. You have a team, ya. Okay, you use dictionaries, you use grammars, you use also code translator. Okay, yeah, you forget it. Daniel, I skip you also. Let's go to Moses. Moses.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, there is a statement in translation field. Yeah, a form or a surface of lexical items or a surface of the language can be translated into many several structures. So can you re-explain? Can you explain and make the examples?
Can you repeat, sir, the question?
All right. A surface in a language or a form of a language can be translated into many several components of meanings or can be translated into many several of forms. A form can be translated into many several forms. So what does it mean? A form into many forms. So what does it mean?
I think it's like trying to translate of a text that has. I remember about from the PPT about a ship. So there are a few examples of it, like determining the ship's like its gender, its age, and yeah, seperti like that, sir. I don't really remember, sir.
Okay,
but it's like determining the subjects. Itu, sir, apa? What's the word?
Okay, it related to the question that I gave to Sheila just now. That's a component meaning has several surface, but this is a surface has several forms, can be translated into many. This is a different statement. Kalau tadi satu meaning, tapi bisa diterjemahkan ke beberapa kata yang meaningnya sama, tapi ini beda artinya. Ini satu bentuk, artinya surface, ya. Satu bentuk, satu form, can be translated into many forms.
So it's like adding more components to the translation, yes, atau itunya ya, sir, atau apa ya, sir?
Okay, let's make it let's make it into a simple question. So what is form in language? What is form in language?
Well, it's
not a word, but form. Form is the structure, the grammar.
Ya.
Oke, persamaan apa namanya arti, tapi akan ada yang bilang formula, ada yang bilang structure, ada yang bilang grammar, kan?
Yes, sir.
Iya, oke, saya skip dulu Moses, masih bingung dia. Disamaratakannya pertanyaannya. Alright, Rivel, are you here, Rivel?
Hello, sir.
Alright. So, could you please explain what is the process in translation? At the time I told you there are two experts in translation field stated about translation process, that is Larson and Naida and Tabor. Jadi yang mana saja? So can you explain the process in translation? You are still mute. Can you unmute it? Yes.
Yes.
Can you imagine the process in your life?
Yes, I think understanding the basic meaning of the word, and then try to
cultural words.
And just understanding the basic sentence, and then try to translate word by word, I think.
So that's the translate word by word means that the general way to translate. I mean the process. What do you do first, and the second step, and the third step? If you are facing a textual material in front of you and you are asked to translate the text, so what steps do you use? Do you do? Apakah kamu langsung menerjemahkan? Apakah kamu langsung reconstructing? You are still mute.
Oh yeah. Man. Yes, sir. I usually just translate the text or nothing.
Oh, berarti langsung translation, berarti bukan proses namanya kok langsung translate.
Yes.
Oke, I skip Rivel. Kalau hidup juga kalau kamu langsung mengalami kesakitan kan gak enak ya, tapi kan ada proses lahir, mengenali orang-orang di sekitar. So that's the process. That's theories, guys, because one day you need this theory. Kalau orang nanti kamu presentasi, kamu harus tahu teorinya. At least kamu tahu menjelaskannya paraphrase, pakai kata-kata sendiri saja. Seperti tadi yang dicoba oleh Eire, itu awalnya dia sudah mencoba menjelaskan, tapi ke belakang-belakangnya dia bingung sendiri, gitu ya. Friska, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
So what does it mean, the word equivalent in translation? What does it mean, equivalent? Can you explain it to us? Kan selalu ada definisi to transfer the the source language text into the closest equivalent textual material in receptor language. Jadi apa makna kata equivalent di situ?
Tolong diulangi, Sir, diulangi.
Okay, can you explain what does the word equivalence or equivalent in the translation field? What does it mean? Okay, I skip. Rizka is breathing, not breathing. Alright, now I go to Santa. Santa, are you here?
Yes, sir.
So what does a word equivalent or equivalence in translation field? What does it mean? Because in most of the definition of translation stated that word. Jadi pengertian equivalency itu atau equivalent in English itu artinya apa sih di dalam dunia penerjemahan? Kenapa kata tersebut sering muncul? Equivalent. So what does it mean? You are muted. Yeah. You don't know, do you? All right. Thank you for being honest. I go to Pelangi.
Yes, sir.
All right, the same question I asked just now to Moses. The same form or the same surface in language can be transferred or can be translated into several forms in target language. So what does it mean? You can paraphrase using your words. Okay. Yeah, I skip Pelangi because she keeps silent. Thank you. And I go to Jefania. Jefania.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, the same question I asked just now to Pelangi. So what does the word equivalence or equivalency in translation field? What does it mean?
I think it's like a line or apa urutan gitu, sir.
The order? Urutan apa maksudnya? What does it mean order?
It's like gimana sih? It's like a structure.
Structure. Equivalent, not a structure. Okay. You are still wondering, ya? Masih terbayang-bayang ya? Maksudnya belum pasti. Thank you, Jevanya. And I go to Amanda. Amanda, are you here, Amanda?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Amanda, my question to you, when we, Amanda, tadi belum saya tanya kan?
Belum, sir.
All right, this is the first time I call your name. If we don't have a non-equivalent word in the target language, so many translators have some strategies to use in the translation work. Yeah, let me repeat. When we find that that is not a non-equivalent, yeah, non-equivalent word in the target language, so many translators have some strategies to do the translation. So, what are the strategies?
If the translation find a non-equivalent, yes, sir.
Yes.
So I write some tips for from you. That is, we can take a loan from another word or lexical.
Yeah, borrowing word. Okay.
Like that.
Kalau borrow bukan another lagi, tapi memang sudah meminjam. Ya, we borrow the word. Okay,
Yes,
and then
we
what else?
And next, this is what you mean is the process from the translation inviting or the translation when we find non-equivalent. So
when we find non-equivalent word in the target language.
I remember that you say there is a non-equivalent word. Example maybe sawah in Indonesia.
Okay.
So we take because in the maybe in other countries there is no sawah. So we take the word rice field like that.
Okay, so what does it refers to in translation field? Substitution, ya, means that substitute, cultural substitution, ya.
Yes.
Okay. Oke, menarik apa namanya benang merah dari apa namanya dua budaya itu yang mana persamaannya. That's cultural substitution. Okay, because in Europe there is no sawah. Most mereka di sana ya rice field berarti di tanah ya, bukan di yang ada becek-beceknya ya. Kalau di sini kan ada madi, ada yang land kan. Alright, so itu hanya dua yang kamu tahu. Borrow the word and using cultural substitution. Is there any else?
I write any tips, but I don't really remember. I don't really know the meaning. So I write the translation by a more general word, superordinate, then by a cultural substitution, and then using a loan word or like a borrow word plus explanation. And then a paraphrase the word, so we can the meaning of the.
This is paraphrasing. You are paraphrasing. This is paraphrasing.
Yes.
Okay.
Last is omission. Dihilangkan beberapa word.
Not beberapa word, I mean dihilangkan kata tersebut.
Iya, dihilangkan kata tersebut.
Apapun, mau satu kata pun dihilangkan atau beberapa kata, that's omission, ya?
Iya, sir.
Oke, yang penting kamu sudah paham beberapa ya. Alright, thank you. Itu yang contoh pertama kamu nggak buat, padahal saya jelaskan loh. Superordinate kemarin, nggak ada.
Iya, sir.
Iya, kalau di dalam penerjemahan guys, teori tanpa contoh, kalian nanti masih 50-50 nanti pemahamannya. Makanya saya selalu saya buat contoh. Alright, thank you Amanda. You did great. Better than the others. And you have a note. Thank you so much. And I go to who's else? Moses Pelanyair, Daniel, Charlie, Clara. Hi, Clara.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you were supposed to be the first, but harusnya kamu yang pertama tadi, ya, karena kamu yang aktif di kelas ini. Okay. So the same question to maybe some other students just now. Can you explain to us the process in translation field, the translation work, the process?
Yes, sir. I found three steps, sir. In my opinion, is know the context, sir.
Know the
Before,
context.
yeah.
Okay,
Before,
knowing the context means that is according to Larson, berarti that is studying.
iya, sir. Jadi,
Okay, after studying, and then what else? And what to do?
analyzing, sir.
Yes, in analyzing, what do you do? Can you explain
Oh.
specifically?
Okay. It's like gimana ngomongnya, sir? Kalau analyzing. Gitu. Misalnya, example like, can I use word, sir?
Yeah, example, please.
Yeah, example like kitten and cat. It is different meaning. Cat is cat itself, but kitten is a child of cat, like this, sir.
That's analyzing. That's in the process of analyzing.
Yes. Analyzing. I know the using primary meaning and secondary meaning, like
okay. In the secondary, yeah, in analyzing. So
yeah.
how about the last step? Mostly.
Transfer, sir.
Transfer. What do you do in transferring?
Okay. In my opinion, transfer is like maybe use like a grammar. Yeah,
okay. So you modify the structure.
Yes, sir.
So that's in the stage of reconstructing.
Yes, sir.
Or restructuring. Okay. Ya, nanti dibaca lagi, masih ada yang sedikit-sedikit miss ya.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Clara.
Yes, sir.
So who's else? Siapa yang belum saya panggil? Sudah semuanya? Oke, let me check. Apakah anak-anak yang sudah saya panggil tadi sudah membaca buku kah? I go back to Moses. Moses? I go back to you because there is no any score yet for you. Because you couldn't answer my question just now. Moses, where are you?
Hello, sir.
Yeah, can you re-answer my question just now I gave to you? And can you repeat the question? What did I ask you just now?
About the surface of
and you didn't try to find the answer.
I'm trying to find the answer, sir. I forgot just the name of the question, sir. Apa tadi questionnya?
Oh, really? The same surface or the same form translated into several forms in target language. Itu maksudnya apa sih pernyataan tersebut? And can you make an example? Try the second one. Try it.
So
can I make an example? Okay, listen. The example that I gave to you at the time, if I still remember, Moses, why don't you wash the dishes? Ask his mom. Okay, that's a service, that's a question, but can be transferred or can be translated into several service in target text. Di bahasa Indonesia terjemahannya apa saja itu? kalau kalimat tadi kamu terjemahkan? What kind of sentence is that? Statement, question?
That's a question, sir.
Comment, question.
Yeah.
How if I translate like this? Moses disuruh ibunya mencuci piring. Is it what kind of sentence is that in bahasa Indonesia? Ibunya menyuruh Moses untuk mencuci piring. What kind of sentence is that?
It's the man, sir. Yeah, my mother wants me to wash the dishes, but the mother orders me or demands me to wash the dishes, mencuci piringnya, sir.
Nah, maksudnya itulah bentuk yang berubah. Di bahasa awal, source language-nya, di bahasa Inggris tadi kan question kan, Moses?
Yes,
tapi kan diterjemahkan ke dalam bahasa Indonesia, ibunya menyuruh Moses mencuci piring. Menjadi statement kan?
Yes, sir.
Nah, itu maksud kalimat yang pernyataan yang saya tanya tadi ke kamu. Okay, so what do you know about translation, definition of translation? Can you?
How is that, Bang?
What is okay? What is the definition of translation? What is the meaning of translation generally?
Jadi it's about studying about grammatical structure, situation about communication, cultural context, and lexicon, sir.
Okay, that is not the meaning of translation. That is the process or the activities. That is the activities or the process in translation. I need the meaning, the definition. Come on.
It's about rendering a source of language, a text in. Tadi ke target ya, sir.
Yeah, can you repeat?
Rendering a source language text into a target language.
What do you render? What do you render? Itu belum spesifik loh.
A service meaning, sir, a source language.
The meaning. Yang ditransfer kan meaningnya kan?
Ya, sir.
Ya jangan lupa kata meaningnya. Makanya tadi saya selalu tekankan, ingat ya, yang ditransfer itu adalah ide, pemikiran, meaningnya, ya kan, bukan bentuknya kan?
Jadi transfer a meaning in a source language. Content in the source language.
From the source language
into another set of language.
Iya, harus ada from into-nya. Dan transfernya itu jangan terlalu general. Transfer apa nih? Transfer duit kah? Transfer the meaning kan? Alright, thank you. Guys, I need 5 minutes to turn off my auto mute because this is a little bit noisier. 5 menit ya. Please be waiting. Thank you. Ya. Ladies and gentlemen, masih di sini kan? Are you still in this Zoom meeting?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Masih,
Okay,
sir.
let me call Charlie. Charlie, again. Kalau kedua kali ini juga kalian nggak bisa jawab, saya nanti kasih nilainya yang pas-pasan ya. Artinya kamu kalau UAS-nya nanti nggak bagus bisa gagal mata kuliah saya. Oke. Ingat, mata kuliah saya 3 di kalian. Jadi saya harap jangan ada yang gagal. Saya harap, tapi dengan kondisi seperti ini, untuk khususnya di mata kuliah penerjemahan ini, kalian saya anggap masih gagal UTS-nya. Charlie, apa tadi pertanyaan saya? What did I ask you just now? You are breathing, Charlie. Do you have a bad connection? Can you check your internet connection? Saya ini memakai paket data loh, teman-teman, bukan WiFi. Kalian seperti adik-adik di sini kebanyakan pakai WiFi ya?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Berarti bagus berarti itunya, koneksinya. Charlie, what did I ask you just now? What was my question? Can you repeat?
Enggak, sir. Patah-patah deh. Coba bisa diulangin nggak, sir?
Berarti tadi kamu yang saya tanyakan, yang pertama kali berapa kali saya jelaskan, nggak dapat juga apa yang saya tanyakan?
Yang pertama tadi, sir.
Iya, pertanyaan saya yang tadi loh. Itu yang saya tanyakan ulang. Tapi kamu masih ingat nggak apa yang saya tanyakan tadi? Do you still remember? Because I have so many students here, more than 10, I almost, yeah, I not almost, but I forget. Saya lupa apa yang saya tanyakan. Is that about meaning package just now? Meaning component? Apa yang saya tanya tadi? Coba kata-kata apa yang kamu ingat yang saya tanyakan tadi? Tentang apa?
Ini yang ekuivalen bukan sih, sir?
Kamu aja lupa. Ya udah jelaskanlah. What is equivalent? What does it mean in translation field?
Equivalent itu similarity between a word bukan, sir?
Similarity. Can you make an example, please?
Oke. Di dessert sama dessert.
Dessert dengan desert. Itu maksudnya? Makanan
Yes, sir.
penutup sama gurun. Itu maksudnya? Itukah?
Yes, sir.
No, that is not equivalent means. Oh, berarti kamu lupa mata kuliah saya ini, Charlie. Sekarang apa yang kamu tahu tentang topik penerjemahan yang dari awal kita pelajari? Can you summarize in or paraphrasing? What do you know so far about translation theory?
The transfer of meaning contained in one set of language into another, sir.
Okay, what SLT stands for?
Okay.
SLT stands for?
SLT.
SLT. What does SLT stand for? Apa kepanjangan SLT? Breathing. Ya, singkatan-singkatan yang sering saya ucapkan itu harus selalu diingat teman-teman, karena nanti di buku-buku penerjemahan atau di teori-teori penerjemahan itu singkatan-singkatan itu akan sering kamu lihat, SLT, TLT, SL, TL, R, jadi seperti itu. Ya. Oke, Oke, cukup dulu dah untuk Charlie ya. Nanti perbaiki di UAS-nya ya, Charlie ya. Sheila, thank you, Charlie. You've tried. I do appreciate it. Sheila? Can you hear me, Sheila? Cek. Yang lain bisa dengar suara saya?
Hello.
Oh iya, I can hear you now. Okay, so what do you know about equivalent?
Equivalent is like the exact same meaning.
Yes, the exact same meaning in the target language.
Yeah.
Can you make an example?
Like cat, meaning kucing.
Yeah, many. Because 99%, I told you the time, 99% a word has the equivalent word in another language. Book, ya buku. Head, ya kepala. Tapi kan kalau berhubungan dengan secondary meaning kan bukan diterjemahkan kepala kan? Kan? Go ahead itu bukan pergi ke kepala, tapi artinya terus, ya, lanjutkan. Itu oke. Untuk Sheila itu saja dulu. Yang penting kamu sudah paham ya tentang equivalent. Yang lain nanti untuk pertanyaan ke teman-teman yang lain. Thank you, Sheila. I go to Adriani Grace. Andriani Grace.
Yes, sir.
What did I ask you just now? Apa yang saya tanyakan ke kamu?
What does idioms mean in translation, and give an example?
Okay, I mean the differences between literal and idiomatic. Apa perbedaannya?
Idiomatic are words can be translated. The meaning of the words cannot be translated, but have the another meaning. Like
Cannot translate. Kalau nggak bisa diterjemah.
Cannot be interpreted like literally.
Literally, iya itu. Tidak bisa diterjemahkan secara literal atau harafiah,
but have the another meaning.
But it has secondary meaning.
An example is feeling blue. Feeling blue means that she or her was sad.
Sad. So what is the primary meaning?
The primary meaning of feeling blue? The primary meaning is sad, sir.
That is secondary. Kalau diterjemahkan secara harafiah, kata per kata, apa pengertian feeling blue? Merasakan biru kan?
Yep, merasakan.
Iya kan, itu tadi yang kamu jelaskan. Tidak bisa diterjemahkan secara literal karena meaningnya nanti akan tidak tersampaikan. Ya, the meaning cannot be the same. I mean the exact meaning. Ya, it is not natural. Okay, because it has secondary meaning. Nah, secondary meaning tadilah yang artinya sedih kan? Sad. Okay, so how about literal? What is literal translation? Dari contoh yang tadi sebenarnya kamu bisa jelaskan. What is literal?
Literal is dapat langsung diterjemahkan. Can be uh, can be bisa dapat langsung diterjemahkan like example she said the means berarti dia sedang sedih.
Oh, berarti it can translate literally. Using word per word, using primary meaning. Is that it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Thank you, Andriani Grace. Aira. Atau sering dipanggil I juga ya. Ayang. Aira. Enggak menjawab 5 detik,
Yes,
saya
sir.
skip. Nah, kamu jangan pergi-pergi dulu, Bang. Aira, what did I ask you just now?
Itu sir, apa? Why do we need to learn about linguistic before translating?
Please answer it.
Okay. Sir, can I explain it in half bahasa, half
Mix, not half. Mix in bahasa and English. Nggak ada half. Kalau nomor baru half. Ya.
Yes, sir. So that's what I say. Before translating, why do we need to learn about linguistic? Because it can makes us easier to translating something.
Yes.
For example, by studying linguistic, we learn about one of the part of linguistic, which is phonology.
Yes.
So translating isn't all about text. So we also translate when someone is speaking or someone is talking, then we can translate it. So jadi maksudnya nggak semuanya itu tentang teks gitu, sir.
Okay, so it is not related to I explained to you at the time. Phonology means that we cannot translate. Okay, let's I give you an example. Why do we have to learn about morphology? So what does morphology relate to translation field?
Jadi morphology is yang morphem ya, sir, kayak ada tambahan ber, ada
that is in bahasa Indonesia.
Epic, yeah. In morphology, there's prefix, suffix.
Yes. So if you translate person, what is the translation of person in bahasa Indonesia? Person
can mean manusia, orang.
But I changed the word person into people. So what does the translation?
If people is more complex, sir. There's a lot of
complex, singular into plural.
Yeah, singular and plural.
So in bahasa Indonesia, what is the translation of people?
People is orang-orang, sir.
Iya, so we make a repetition, ya.
Yes,
kalau person tadi orang, people menjadi orang-orang. Ya, itulah that is the function of morphology in translation field, ya. So we learn the translation of SNES, ending SNES in, for example, cat becomes cats. Cat, seekor kucing, but cats, kucing, ya. Yeah, so that's the connection between learning linguistics, especially morphology, in translation field. Okay, got it?
Got it, sir.
Thank you, Ada. Elizabeth?
Yes,
yeah, what did I ask you just now? You tried.
Yes, so you asked me the same question as Andriani, the difference between literal and idiomatic language. And I got it mixed, the answer, I got it incorrectly. So I said that the idiomatic consists of the primary meaning, while the literal language have secondary, which is mixed. So for literal language, it consists of primary,
And
the primary language. So as Andriani had given her examples, yeah, I'll give my own example. Like Alex is running. If we translate it into bahasa Indonesia, itu Alex sedang berlari. It's the literal meaning. While for the idiomatic means that you're expressing the word or the language by expressing. So it can mean a lot of things. Like, for example, I remember in your presentation, you have like she is running a business. If we translate it into bahasa Indonesia, the literal language is that dia sedang melarikan usaha, which is will not make sense. But for idiomatic, it means that dia sedang membuat usaha atau dia sedang mengusaha. So like
berusaha. Okay, thank you, Elizabeth. All right, that's the best explanation. And I go to Daniel. Hi, Daniel. Again, back to you.
Yeah, sir.
Yeah, Daniel, what did I ask you just now?
You asked me the things that we have to face while translating.
In the translation, I'm doing translation projects.
Yeah.
Okay, do you still remember the specific word just now I stated? Translation projects. Not in doing translation in general, but in translation project. So what matters?
In translation, we have to understand, like, just like Elizabeth said, that we have to understand the secondary meaning words.
Yeah, I mean, in primary meaning.
Yeah, I mean, in translation, if we translate like from feeling blue, it means like we said. But if we translate it like word by word, it means like in Indonesia kita merasakan biru, then it sounds like weird. So that we have to understand a lot of word in secondary word meaning.
Okay, let's make it short. I mean, in translation projects, I explained it to you just now, we don't work alone. We don't work individually. Yeah. So, what are the names of the group? What are the names of the specific person that you are working with? Yeah, team.
A team.
We work in team. In team, you will find co-translator. What does it mean, co-translator? Okay, in the translation in the company, you are the translator, but you have to work with co-translator. What is co-translator? What does he or she do for you? Lupa ya. Pernah nggak masuk di pertemuan saya, Daniel? You skipped? Maybe.
Enggak, maksudnya pernah kan nggak pernah skip.
Tapi terus ikut, maksudnya nggak pernah bolong-bolong masuk ke mata kuliah saya kan?
Enggak.
Berarti kamu dengarkan berarti. Ya, you work with team, and in the team you are the translator. We have co-translator yang saya jelaskan seperti pembantu. Tapi pembantu di sini bukan membantu kamu untuk melayani kamu ya. Kalau untuk melayani kamu bawa teh, bawa kertas, itu namanya employee. Kalau ini kan co-translator, artinya the specialist. For example, you translate from Spanish into bahasa Indonesia. Setelah kamu menerjemahkan, kamu ingin tahu dari bahasa Indonesia ke bahasa Spanyol. Tapi kamu ingin tahu nih hasil terjemahan kamu, is it good or not? baru kamu consult with the co-translator. Co-translator itu berarti yang spesialis di bahasa targetnya. Tadi bahasa targetnya adalah bahasa Spanyol. Berarti ada pembantu penerjemah atau penerjemah asisten yang membantu kamu. Khususnya yang memang dia jurusan kesusastraan Spanyol atau pendidikan bahasa Spanyol yang bekerja sebagai penerjemah di situ, tapi khusus dia mengoreksi yang hasil penerjemahan dari bahasa asing ke bahasa Spanyol. Yang penting dia expert di bahasa Spanyol aja gitu. Biar melihat, oh kalau bahasa Spanyolnya ini kok aneh ya. Saya nggak pernah ini melihat kalimat Spanyol seperti ini, contohnya seperti itu. Nah, that's called co-translator. Nah, selain itu, we need tools. Apa saja toolsnya? Do you still remember? I told you just now, what are the tools?
Like a computer and then
Dictionary. And what is the differences between dictionaries and glossaries?
Sorry, sir. Tadi keputus.
Glossaries. Apa bedanya glossaries dengan dictionaries? Belum paham? Iya, kalau dictionaries itu kan yang umum ya. Semua kata ada di situ terjemahannya. Tapi khusus yang glossaries sesuai dengan teksnya. Kalau teksnya bidang medical, berarti glossariesnya itu berhubungan dengan kedokteran semua. Artinya kosakata di dunia kedokteran. Kalau di kamus kan semua kosakata, mau dia sastra, mau dia ekonomi, mau dia hukum, kan semuanya ada di situ kan? Tapi glossaries that specific field of the text. Gitu ya. Oke, mudah-mudahan semakin paham dengan penjelasan saya. Ya, Daniel? Thank you, Dan. Rivel, Vincent, benar nggak tebakan saya? Ires, Vincent.
Yes, sir.
And the same to you. What did I ask you just now? What was my question?
Oh yeah, I think it's the definition of equivalent.
Yes.
And the example.
Re-explain it.
Oh yeah, so equivalent is an expression from a language that has the same meaning, sir.
Okay.
For example, like mouse, it translated in Indonesia as tikus, and dog as anjing in Indonesia, and so on.
Okay. So how about non-equivalent?
Non-equivalent, I think it's when it doesn't translate as the literal meaning.
Not specifically in there. I mean, non-equivalent. Kalau equivalent tadi di the general. I mean, the exact similar meaning, ya, in another language. Berarti kebalikannya, berarti non-equivalent artinya tidak berhubungan dengan idiom, tapi berhubungan dengan tidak ada padanannya. Yang saya jelaskan kemarin, kata-kata apa saja sih yang sering yang tidak ada padanannya? Yang berhubungan dengan apa? Do you still muted, Rivel? Kamu itu otomatis apa kamu main-mainin sih?
No, sir. Ini tadi saya mute dulu soalnya ini.
Oh, nggak apa-apa ada suara ayam. Tapi ketika saya masih dengan kamu nggak usah mute dulu.
Okay,
ya. Karena lupa kadang-kadang kamu membalikkan. So, jadi apa yang spesifik tadi? Kata-kata yang berhubungan dengan apa sih yang sehubungan dengan non-equivalent? Padahal saya selalu buat loh contohnya. For example, at the time pizza. Pizza is not our the production in Indonesia, ya.
Yeah.
So that's we cannot translate. There is no any equivalent word in bahasa Indonesia. Tidak ada ya, di kamus pun tidak ada ya arti pizza kan, di KBBI kan.
Yes, sir.
Berarti itu namanya non equivalent. Itu berarti kata-kata yang berhubungan dengan budaya.
Oke.
Oke, ya.
Okay, sir.
Mudah-mudahan kamu ingat ya.
Yes,
Alright, thank you, Rizal. Moses. Moses.
Yes, sir.
Masih belum kelihatan wajahmu.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did you answer my question just now? Yang kedua kali belum ya?
Sudah, sir, tadi.
Oh, yang
saya kedua.
Yang tentang apa tadi, meaning components ya?
Yang components itu, sir, ke translation.
Okay, definition tadi ya?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Moses. Yeah, it's Friska.
Yes, sir.
And what was the question I gave to you just now?
About equivalence.
Re-explain it.
Yes, sir. Equivalence is a word or phrase means exactly the same thing in both languages.
Not the same thing, the same meaning.
Yes, the same meaning.
All right. And then what is the example? Your own example, not using your other friend's example.
Yes. In English, buku in Indonesia is buku, and in English is book. And in Indonesia is computer, and in English is computer.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. When you find non-equivalent word, what strategies do you use?
I can search on Google. Maybe search first.
The strategies,
or find.
Not the steps. Kalau itu kan step-stepnya yang kamu harus lewati. Strategi apa? Strategi.
My strategy is you just give an example like pizza. Kan, sir, pizza and
make the example. It's not translation. If you make the example, you borrow the word and make an example baru. Dengan cara meminjam kata tersebut dan menambahkan deskripsinya. Itu maksud kamu?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Kalau kamu langsung membuat contoh pisang gadong, tapi apa itu? Kamu belum ini kan? Kamu bisa borrow. The name of the food is pizza in Indonesia. For Indonesian, it is like untuk orang-orang Indonesia seperti, nah apa sejenis pizza itu apa sih? Nah itu baru ada description-nya. Oke, dengan cara apa lagi? Selain meminjam?
Tadi search finding on Google kan, sir?
Itu kan langkah-langkah yang kita lakukan. Langkah-langkah yang kita lakukan di Google itu kan bisa mencari padanan kata yang secara umum, bisa mencari deskripsinya. Itu kan mencari di Google itu kan pekerjaan yang kita lakukan. Artinya strategi teknik membuat penerjemahan kita ini bagus. Tadi kamu bilang meminjam kata tersebut. Ya, ada lagi enggak? Langkah yang teknik atau strategi yang dilakukan si penerjemah selain meminjam. Karena nanti kalau kamu meminjam kebanyakan kata, jadi bukan terjemahan nanti kan. Kalau kamu pinjam semua kata di dalam kalimat itu, kamu pinjam ke bahasa Indonesia, ya nggak ada lagi bahasa Indonesia. Jadi bahasa Inggris semua nanti. Oke, selain meminjam apa lagi? Oke, lupa kan. Tadi sudah ada teman kamu yang menjelaskan. Siapa tadi? Lupa saya. Kan ada tadi using general word. Kalau nggak salah tadi Andriani ya. Iya, Andriani explained it just now. Kamu nggak dengar. Oke, yang penting kamu udah tahu dulu lah equivalent dan non-equivalent ya, Friska.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, my pleasure. Santa. Go back to you, Santa. Nggak apa-apa dengan suara burung perkututnya, nggak apa-apa. Santa, what did I ask just now to you? Apa pertanyaan yang saya tanyakan tadi ke kamu? You are muted, Santa. Ya.
Udah, oke. Maaf sir, lemot. Tadi tentang about equivalence.
Masih equivalent. So re-explain it.
Equivalence is a way translating source language terms about anything into the recipient language or from the translation process that affects the translation result, so that the translation result are perceived as communicative.
Terlalu banyak penjelasan kamu. Yang disebut dengan ekuivalensi aja nggak masuk ke komunikatif. Ini masih belum komunikatif.
Oh, sorry sir.
Ada tadi udah 5 orang loh yang menjelaskan ekuivalensi. Kamu nggak denger kan?
Putus-putus sir. Wifi saya lagi error.
Inilah permasalahannya kalau lagi kuis, kamu nggak nyari, kalau lagi ujian begini kamu nggak nyari itu yang nanti yang problem di kamu. Kan ini kan the most important kan. Kamu kuliah kan sebenarnya secara literalnya butuh nilai kan?
Iya, sir.
Nah, ini lagi sedang mencari mencari nilai dari kamu. Tapi koneksi kamu nggak kamu kondisikan bagus, gimana ini?
Soalnya lagi hujan di sini, sir. Jadi lagi lemot.
Ya udah, jelaskanlah pakai bahasa Indonesia. Coba apa yang ekuivalensi itu? Coba.
Ekuivalensi. Sebentar, sir. Maaf lama.
Ini kita 4 menit lagi loh. Masih ada 2 orang lagi.
Ekuivalensi itu tentang kesamaan.
Tanya dulu si Friska di chat ya. Tadi Friska yang menjawab atau teman yang lain. Coba siapa yang mau bantu kamu ya?
Ya, sir.
Karena penjelasan kamu tadi masih terlalu campur-campur, jadi nggak spesifik equivalent. Oke, saya tunggu. I'm waiting.
Oke.
Pelangi. Oke. Pelangi, what did I ask? What did I ask just now? That's about equivalent.
Yes.
Ya, nggak akan diganti. Coba kamu jelaskan. What is equivalent in translation field?
Equivalent is the same or similar meaning in translation.
So how about non-equivalent? Kalau equivalent tadi kan the exact meaning. Kalau non-equivalent?
it's something that have different meaning.
There is no different meaning in non-equivalent. Namanya juga non-equivalent. Apa sih ekuivalensi itu di bahasa Indonesia? Itu kan kita meminjam dengan mencocokkan bunyi bahasa ya. Equivalence itu kan equivalence terus diterjemahkan dipinjamlah kata ekuivalensi dengan menyesuaikan bunyi bahasa Indonesia. Tapi pemahaman sebenarnya itu adalah kesetaraan, makna yang setara. Berarti non-equivalent artinya tidak setara. Artinya tidak ada padanan maknanya di bahasa sasaran. Itu namanya non-equivalent. Bisa nggak kasih contoh? Non-equivalent words. From SL to TL. Pelangi, masih bingung kan kamu kan? Mute. Ingat teman-teman sebelum berbicara dicek mikrofonnya. Pelangi nggak kelihatan di layar saya, kelihatannya cuma rambut doang, mukanya nggak ada. Coba kasih contoh non-equivalent.
Kayak gini bukan sir, tapi saya nggak tahu benar. Misalnya kayak air. Air kan kalau di bahasa Indonesia air biasa, tapi kalau di bahasa Inggris udara.
Air biasa. Air biasa. Apa maksudnya?
Maksudnya kayak air gitu kalau di bahasa Indonesia, tapi kalau di bahasa Inggris kan jadi udara artinya.
Air. Bukan itu contohnya. Adek, bukan itu maksudnya non-equivalent. Itu tanya dulu kamu si Rivel ya. Tadi Rivel kalau nggak salah ya. Tanya dulu, apa sih non-equivalent? Sudah saya jelaskan tadi ke yang lain, kamu nggak dengar. Coba cek di chat box itu, yang kelihatan cuma rambut kamu, coba. Oke, saya skip dulu untuk Pelangi dan Santai ya. Saya nanti kembali ke kalian berdua. Jawabannya?
Yes, sir.
What did I ask just now?
Equivalence.
The same. Sorry, explain it, please.
Equivalent is like a word or phrase has the same meaning in both language. Maybe it's like maybe in German language it's like Guten Morgen, and in English it's Good morning.
Okay, so how about non-equivalent? I got it. Kamu sudah paham equivalent. So how about non-equivalent?
Equivalent maybe in Indonesia like rambutan, and in English maybe people don't know about that. So maybe if I want to explain to them, I would say that that's a traditional fruit from Indonesia, and I will show them the picture of that.
Oh, kalau menerjemahkan bukan dibuat gambar tapi dideskripsikan.
Okay, maybe I explain that is Indonesian traditional fruit.
By description.
Yes.
Yeah, you describe the appearance of the fruit, the color, the taste.
Yes,
itu namanya description ya. Kalau kamu using gambar nanti bukan di penerjemahan tapi interpreting.
Okay, sir.
Thank you, Jepanya. At
Yes,
least
sir.
you know the difference between equivalence and non-equivalence. Thank you. And I go back to Santa.
Yes, sir.
Tadi kan baru dijelaskan, coba langsung. So what is equivalent means?
Equivalence, a word or phrase means exactly the same meaning in both language.
Okay, so what is non-equivalent?
Equivalence, non-equivalence itu yang nggak sama artinya dalam kedua bahasa.
Bukan tidak sama, tapi tidak punya makna.
Oh ya,
tidak punya
makna.
kata, tidak punya padanan kata karena memang barang tersebut tidak ada di sana, gitu.
Yes.
Ya, sudah paham belum?
Paham, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Santa.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Pelangi.
Yes, sir.
Pelangi. Sama kan ya? Masih equivalent ya? Coba
Iya,
kamu jelaskan. Can you explain it? Re-explain?
Non-equivalent itu yang nggak ada maknanya gitu.
Bukan nggak ada makna, nggak ada padanan. Nggak ada
Nggak setara gitu.
padanannya. Nggak ada kata yang setara dengan nama tersebut, dengan kata tersebut, kan? Gitu. Bagaimana cara kamu untuk menerjemahkan yang tidak setara maknanya?
I will translate it first with general words.
All right, and then? Kalau misalkan sudah dilihat-lihat, kalau general word kayaknya orang masih bingung deh nanti pembacanya. Terus? Mungkin kamu ganti dengan teknik yang lain. Apa?
By using paragraph with
Bukan paragraf, Adek. Paraphrase.
Oh iya itu. It's related.
Coba saya tanya dulu kamu ilmu linguistiknya sih. Apa sih paragraf itu? Saya tanya dulu kamu, Pelangi. Apa paragraf itu artinya?
That has itu apa? A lot of kalimat gitu, sir.
Kumpulan kalimat yang mengandung arti yang kohesif, artinya saling bertalian. Jadi kamu mau kalau menerjemahkan kata menjadi paragraf gitu. Banyak banget tuh. Makanya bukan paragraf tapi paraphrase. Coba diulang.
Paraphrase.
Apa itu paraphrase?
Kalimat.
Menjelaskan menggunakan kata-kata yang berbeda tetapi pengertiannya sama, ya. Kalau kita kan kalau menghafal kan seperti exact seperti kalimat orang lain kan. Tapi kalau disuruh paraphrase artinya kita menjelaskan pernyataan tersebut tapi menggunakan kata yang berbeda atau cara kita tapi maknanya tetap sama. That is paraphrase, ya. Jadi bedakan paragraf dengan parafrase ya, Pelangi ya. Jangan malu-maluin sastra Inggris nanti kamu, ya. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, please open up the camera, all of you. This is the end of our meeting for today, and I'm sorry to say I'm not satisfied with your with our today's session. Because most of you forget 90% what I told you, what I explained. The first one, the reason why, because none of you asked the material, and I thought in my mind, while I was presenting my presentation, you wrote some note, but berarti saya salah menilai kalian selama ini. That is why in the first session I told you every time I present my presentation, please take some notes. Please write some notes. Tapi kalian melupakan apa yang saya inginkan. Dan kalian tidak meminta materi atau at least kalian tidak mau menonton kembali videonya. And you know, the video will be expired within 2 weeks. Kalau kamu nggak segera download, akan hilang. Jadi kalian tidak punya cara yang jitu untuk memahami sebuah materi perkuliahan gitu. Itu yang saya tangkap. Ya. Jadi lain kali teman-teman, ini kan manusia-manusia yang di era globalization ya. Tidak perlu disuruh lagi sebenarnya waktu di SMA kan. Ayo anak-anak ditulis ya. Ayo anak-anak, itu kan kalau namanya maha. Kalian kan sudah agung nih maha. Tidak perlu lagi ada kata-kata perintah sebenarnya dari saya. Buat catatannya ya. Atau nanti kamu download videonya ya. Atau ini materinya ya. Tapi tidak ada keinginan dari kalian untuk meminta. Ya, itulah soft skill kalian yang paling rendah nilainya. Kalian udah semester berapa sekarang, Moses?
Semester 3, Sir.
Itulah kalian, udah ada juniornya. Malu-maluin junior kamu kalau kayak gini. Lain kali jangan begini ya, harus aktif ya, adik-adik ya. Iya. Oke. Nah, ini nanti kalau kamu lihat nilainya, jangan salahkan saya. Nilainya ini, kalau nilainya seperti ini, saya buat di UAS nanti tidak akan membuat kalian lulus. Saya buat rendah di nilai pertama. Saya ingin kalian belajar dari nilai ini, artinya nanti di UAS kalian meningkatkan diri. Mungkin nanti nilai UAS akan saya tinggi-tinggikan, biar lulus. Kalau masih kayak gini keadaannya, baru semester inilah saya selama di UKI mungkin menggagalkan mahasiswa. Bukan karena ketidakhadiran, tapi karena tidak ada keinginan. Kan tidak ada dong keinginan kalian untuk lulus, buktinya hari ini. Ya kan? Nah, jadi jangan baru angkatan kalian ini yang saya gagalkan di UKI. Jangan ada pengalaman buruk di tahun saya mengajar di UK ya. Oke. Ya. Thank you. I do hope you understood my wish ya. Andriani Grace tadi sudah bawa doa ya, atau Amanda? Andriani sekarang ya.
Yes, sir.
Oke. Please Andriani.
Mari kita bersatu dalam doa. Tuhan, terima kasih atas berkat-Mu sepanjang hari ini dari pagi hingga sore hari ini. Tuhan, kami sudah menyelesaikan kelas translation kami. Tuhan, sebentar kami akan melakukan kegiatan kami selanjutnya. Kiranya Kau selalu memberkati kami. Dalam nama Tuhan Yesus kami sudah berdoa dan mengucap syukur. Haleluya. Amin.
Thank you so much guys. Jangan dianggap omongan saya ini marah. Artinya saya ingin ada perubahan dari kalian. Oke? I love you all. I'll see you next week.
Thank you, sir.
Bye. Ketemu besok mungkin beberapa.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.
Sir.